Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Fallout 76 Weapon Spotlight. Today, we're going to take a look at an Executioner's Flamer and see how we can do with it. I haven't done a Flamer yet on the channel, and they're interesting weapons. So, a little while back, they changed the way the damage works. It's now elemental fire damage versus energy damage. So, we're going to take a look at it, see how it does in my heavy gunner power armor build. As always, if you enjoy this video, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. We're right on the edge of 3,000 subscribers, so if you're not subscribed yet, do go ahead and hit that button. Let's get there today, and I do hope you enjoy the video. And also, as always, the way we're going to start here, I'm going to go through my build, take a look at the weapon, and do all of those things before we jump into the action. And I'll put timestamps in so it's easy to skip through if you're already familiar with that stuff. And you want to just see the testing, you can jump ahead. If you do want to watch the build information, it's coming right up now. Let's go ahead and start with a look at the weapon itself. And here it is. We've got an Executioner's maximum capacity napalmer with 50% limb damage and 250 damage resistance while reloading. Now, if you take a look at that condition bar, we did do this one. I did this one sort of backwards. I recorded the testing first because it was dark, and then I came up here and shot this footage. So yeah, so when we started, this was full condition, and here's where we're at. So yeah, weapon condition, not amazing on this, but we got through the run. That may vary a little bit depending on how we do things. But you can see we've got the limb damage effect, so that might help us stagger some enemies. And we get a little bit of extra damage resistance while we're reloading. It's not a real slow reload on this weapon, but it's not super fast either. So having a little bit of extra protection there isn't a bad thing. As far as mods go, I put the napalm tank on there, and that gives me a little extra damage. And the huge propellant tank will allow me to hold a little bit more ammo. So both of those things are good. Didn't do anything else with it mod-wise. Didn't really see much of a need for that. It didn't seem to do much other than add some weight to it. So we rolled with it as we have it here, and it worked out pretty well. Let's take a look at the mutations in the build. Normally, this is my bloodied power armor heavy gunner, but today we ran full health. So despite having adrenal reaction, we weren't built around adrenal reaction today, but that gave us a little more damage at low health. Bird Bones and Marsupial let us jump high and land softly. Eagle Eyes increases critical damage, not super useful on a weapon like this, but it also doesn't really hurt to have it. Egghead for extra intelligence, which means extra XP. Healing Factor to heal up between fights without using any chems or stims. Scaly Skin for some extra damage and energy resistance. And of course Speed Demon so we can move and reload faster. Let's go ahead now and take a look at legendary perks. We get things started off with legendary strength, which I chose to max out my strength here so I can have all my heavy gunner perks and everything, but I chose to do that with a legendary perk so that I can move points to other categories rather than using legendary perks to boost them up. So I found that to be a little more useful for this character. Plus, it was just kind of the way it all fell into place. Secondly, we've got Ammo Factory, one of my favorite legendary perks. That's going to let us make more ammo. Pretty straightforward stuff. The most efficient way to use this is really to put it on one character and just use that character as your ammo factory, but I'm way too lazy to do that, so I've got it on all of them unless they are pure melee characters, which this one is definitely not. This allows me to make lots of ammo every time I need it, and that makes me. Next up is legendary agility. Normally for a heavy gunner, I don't have a whole lot of agility in the build, so having the legendary perk lets me put more agility in so I can max out adrenaline and action boy, which makes my life easier. Over time, of course, we'll get a few more cards in there too, so that'll be great. After that, we've got electric absorption, which is interesting for power armor builds. Gives you a 13% chance that enemy energy attacks will recharge your power armor's fusion core. It also gives you a little bit of health regeneration, which is a nice thing to have. The advantage to this, of course, is if you're running around in power armor, your fusion cores aren't going to drain very fast. So this is a great perk to have for power armor users. I absolutely love it, because I detest farming things. So anything I can do to cut down on the amount of grinding I need to do is a good thing. We round things out with taking one for the team. That makes enemies take more damage if they attack me if I'm on a team. Unfortunately, when I did this test, I was just a little bit absent-minded and completely forgot to be on a team. So yeah, that didn't help, but we'll still get the point. And finally, we round things out with legendary endurance, so I can take a little more endurance. Over time, of course, that will grow. This character's a little bit lower level than some of my others. So there's the legendary perks. Let's take a look at the special build and regular perk cards. Okay, so here we go. We've got strength at 15, so that we can take all the heavy gunner perks and max all of that out. Lock and load, so we can reload faster. Bandolier to cut down on the weight of our weapons. Cut down on the weight of our ammo, rather. Bear arms, so we can reduce the weight of those heavy weapons a little bit. There's a few different perks you can swap in and out of there, but that setup works for me. Perception, I've just got 1 point, and I threw on glow sight so we can get a little bit of extra damage against glowing enemies should we happen to encounter them. There's not really anything I need out of perception for this build, so figure a little extra damage on occasion doesn't hurt. Under endurance, we've got fireproof, so that will reduce fire and explosive damage. I don't have a mod on power armor that'll do that like I have on regular armor with a dense chest, so that's useful there. Radical, normally this is a low health build, so I would be gating that health with radiation, so increasing my strength with rads would be useful. Not really a factor today. Under charisma, I went ahead and maxed out tenderizer and suppressor for this weapon. It's not something that's going to just instantly kill everything, so reducing the amount of damage the enemies can put out doesn't hurt, and making them take more damage after we attack also doesn't hurt. Under intelligence, we've got a whole bunch of stuff here. Nerd Rage is there because this is normally a low health build. Didn't really have anything else to pop in there, so it's not doing a whole lot for us today because that primarily works at low health and we're not going to be at low health. But Power User, that's going to extend our fusion core duration. Stabilized is going to improve our armor penetration and hip fire accuracy with our heavy guns. Batteries included reduces the weight of energy ammo, so that includes fusion cores and what's the other one? Plasma cores. So that's a very useful perk to have for a heavy gunner and power armor. And Scrapper, so we get more scrap when we break things down. Gunsmith, so our weapons can last a little bit longer. If I'd had some extra perk points to throw around, I might have swapped out Nerd Rage and just maxed out Gunsmith, and I might have been a little more pleased with my weapon condition at the end of the run than I currently am, but it is what it is. We'll live with it. Under agility, we've got Action Boy and Adrenaline maxed out, so I have fast AP refresh and can do more damage as I chain kills together, so that's useful. And then, of course, under luck, we round things out with Bloody Mess for extra damage, One Gun Army for a chance to stagger and cripple our enemies, Class Freak and Starch Genes, so we can keep our mutations and reduce their negative effects. And then finally, Quick Hands, so we have a chance at an automatic instant reload, which is pretty useful on a heavy gun because most of them take a hot second to reload. So being able to do that instantaneously is a nice thing. All right, enough with the chit chat. Let's get over to the Whitespring and start setting some things on fire. All right, making our way inside the golf club, we've got our usual sleeping ghouls. And so far, nothing too eventful. You can see that the weapon, it works fine. It's not an instant kill by any stretch of the imagination. If we can get to the head, we do a little more damage, but that's kind of easier said than done. So there we go. On these ones that are sleeping, if they're nice and still, it makes it easy. But yeah, you can see, so maybe 132 damage, 180. It varies per ghoul a little bit, but that's strange. Oh, I see what it is. Those floating damage numbers, those are the executioner numbers. That makes sense. Duh. Okay. That's the damage increase, so we're doing around 80, and then that boosts up if we happen to hit that 40% health threshold. So far so good. Relatively straightforward stuff. So it looks like most of them were getting like one extra damage hit in. towards the end, which isn't a surprise on Ghouls. They're not super tanky. I wouldn't expect to really need to lay into them all that much. But we'll keep going here a little bit. And while I would love to hit heads, we're going to try to hit heads. Going for legs isn't bad either. With the limb damage and with all of our crippling effects for our heavy gunner perks, that can slow down these targets so that they at least can't attack us, which is useful. So here we can see it. Not necessarily the most ammo-efficient weapon so far, but we're killing things very quickly without a problem. So I can't really complain. Let's head over into the pro shop and clear that out. So far this has been pretty uneventful. That's what I like to see. Although it does look like we managed to pick up a disease somewhere, but we'll live with that. Okay. So pro shop is cleared. How about outside? Anybody running around out here? That's not too bad. The range isn't bad on it. You don't have to be right on top of your target, which is good. There are mods you can put on to extend the range a little bit longer than I did, but if I remember correctly, there's some weird damage issues when you do that, so I didn't bother with that on this particular weapon, and I think that's okay. Alright, I think we're all clear here. Let's head to the deep. Okay, off to Kami Wonderland we go. Any ammo waiting for me there? Oh, nothing useful. Okay, what do we have here? There should be some Liberators dropping down. Hello, Liberators? Where are you? Okay, well, I guess this time we're not getting any Liberators. That's, I suppose I can live with that. And we'll go ahead and take you down. Easy enough so far. Pretty uneventful with no Liberators to come after us. And it looks like we are actually doing a little more damage to these communist soldiers than we did to the Ghouls. So that's just a little weird. Maybe they have... I probably should take another point in perception so that I can run awareness and see enemy damage resistances, because I'm guessing these guys lack the fire damage that maybe Ghouls have. That's the only explanation I can think of for that. Yeah, so we're definitely doing more damage to them than we did to the Ghouls at Whitespring. That's really interesting. We'll see how we do against the power armor commander back here. Here you are, and yeah, still way more damage against them. So maybe the communist Ghouls don't have any fire resistance. That's interesting. So this weapon's doing really well back here. We'll head on inside and finish clearing the place out. How we doing, commies? Not so good. Nope, not your day. Today is the end of your stay underneath America. Sorry, commies. Time to go. Alright, we've got a few up here. Oh, we got some guns shooting at us. No big deal. Easy enough. We're in power armor. We can handle that. No power armor guy up here either. That's interesting. Usually you see a power armor commander up here. Well, loot some ammo and jump over to Solomon's Pond and take on the Behemoth. My guess is this should be pretty straightforward here, as long as our Behemoth buddy doesn't get to just smack the crap out of us too many times. We should do okay. Here we'll definitely see how that Executioner's effect works out, and you can really see the damage jump there at the end. Super easy kill. Love it. Alright, that's where the Executioner's effect is most useful for big tanky enemies, and it definitely paid off there. Let's kill some Scorched. Now this one could get a little interesting because we don't have a lot of range on a flamer, so you can see there, not enough range to even take him out from there. So we got to get a little closer. We're gonna need to get this. Scorchbeast on the ground somehow, but for now, we'll clear out all her minions. So yeah, here we can see 83s and 73s for damage, so the Scorched definitely hold up better to fire damage than those commies did, but we are getting to the point here where adrenaline's built, so that's not too bad, and obviously not anywhere close to enough range to hit that Scorchbeast. We'll figure that out in a minute. Let's go ahead and keep clearing out the Scorched here. Not quite. There we go, a couple of headshots. We'll set your face on fire, how's that sound? And now we've got to deal with this Scorchbeast. Definitely not enough range on the Flamer. I'd like to just let him land, but I have a feeling that's not gonna work. Yeah, this could take a while. I don't know. Let's pull out a heavy gun. Any old heavy gun will do. Get a couple of shots in, cripple those wings and get them to come down, hopefully. Not yet. I don't want to use the heavy gun because I'm gonna drain all the health from him, but we got to get him on the ground somehow. Come on now, Scorchbeast. Enough is enough. The people are here to be entertained. They're here to be entertained by your death. Let's move along. There we go. We're getting somewhere now. And Executioners kicks in, and you can see the boost there. Very good. All good fun. Thank you for your death, Scorchbeast. Moving on to Huntersville. Let's see how we do against the Super Mutants. As always, we'll start off with the floaters near the barricade at the front of town. And easy enough so far. Not quite close enough. Well, they don't have a whole lot of fire resistance either, apparently. That's useful. So that's good to know. It's an interesting weapon so far. I do enjoy it. It's not the most ammo efficient that I can tell so far, but it's definitely fun to use, and it kills things very quickly. And I think this is interesting. This run is going, even with the delays with the Scorchbeast, this run's going nice and quick. This is a very time-efficient weapon, if not ammo-efficient. And move on up to the water tower. Oh, look, we got to level up. Isn't that nice? Isn't that special, everyone? All right, so there we go. And we can see again, now that we've got some enemies with a little bit of armor, it definitely takes more to bring them down. But the other cool thing about this weapon is it's got sort of a bit of an area of effect damage, so not like an explosion, but you're not just hitting one target, you can hit multiple targets in that cloud of flame, so that makes using it a little more efficient too. It's definitely fun, it feels good, I like how it works, I like how it looks, I like the sound effect. All that stuff is cool, and we've got a hound. You need to go. I don't have good luck with hounds in this Huntersville house, so you need to be gone before you bite my face off and kill me 17 times. And 2 more super mutants, and you can just kind of spray around there and take them out. That's what's fun about this weapon. It's easy to use. You don't have to have great aim. That I like, so let's see here. We should have a couple more super mutants and 1 more hound before we make it out of town and talk conclusions. And there they are, right up by the barricade. And so far, this weapon has performed basically as I would expect. Now, when we get these groups of enemies, it's hard to notice the Executioner effect kicking in. But you can definitely see it. It's, and I don't know. I mean, in the past, I thought it was, I thought maybe they didn't change the effect, but they may have. Let's talk conclusions. So this weapon performed basically as I expected it to. It wasn't the most ammo efficient thing. This is not something you're going to run around and kill enemies with in 1 or 2 shots. That's not what this weapon is for. But it still killed things very quickly and very efficiently. We got through this run quicker than I think we've gotten through most of the runs we've done on the channel. So there's something to be said for that. Definitely kills quickly, even though it's not the most ammo efficient weapon to use. Now, in the past, I've suspected that they never changed the Executioner's effect when they changed everything else from the multiplicative damage model to this new additive damage model, but looking at how this weapon works and how some other Executioner's weapons have worked, I'm not sure that's the case. So if that were the case, we would see a straight 50% damage increase on any enemy once we get them below 40% health. And I don't see that across the board. Every now and again I do, but sometimes it's actually a little more than that. Sometimes it's significantly less than that. It all depends on the enemy and their damage resistances, so it's really hard to say exactly how that is applying, but I can definitely say it's applying well and it's applying efficiently. So against your bigger, tankier enemies like Behemoths and Scorchbeasts, and even super mutants when you're talking about a weapon like a Flamer, having that extra 50% damage on the tail end of their health bar makes for a very efficient weapon. And I think that's what we saw here. It does leave a little bit to be desired in terms of condition bar, but overall, not a bad way to go. Am I going to use this weapon constantly all the time? Well, probably not, because it's not super ammo efficient, and I'm big on ammo efficiency. But if you're somebody who doesn't mind cranking out a bunch of fuel, it can be a lot of fun. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to bring us to the end of this video. I had a lot of fun with this weapon. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and maybe we get a look here, a little bit of a better understanding of how the Flamer works. I've got a couple other Flamers I've wanted to test out, so maybe we'll do that in the future too. As always, if you enjoyed this, if you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. There's always a lot more to come on the channel. New weapon video and script video every week. Most weeks I'm going to put up some kind of lore video, and then of course we have 1 or 2 live streams a week from different games. So be sure to go ahead and subscribe, and I hope I see you next time. Till then, I'm Fisty McRib.